Warning, spoilers ahead. If you are bothered by spoilers, stop now. Do not watch or listen. You've been warned.
All right, cut the chatter.
So what's up, you fucking nerds? So, this is, something I was gonna do that's a little different. Yeah, I know, it's always something different, isn't it? So, I watched The Skeleton Crew last week. And, the wife and I sat around and we watched 3 episodes back to back. And with the current shit show that Disney has been the past few years, it was a very, very refreshing series. I loved it. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to unwrap here. So, where to start? God, like, with the garbage that Disney's been serving us the past few years, it was great. Like, the Skeleton Crew, was a breath of fresh air. I mean, if we jump back and look at it, I mean, we had The Mandalorian. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were, season 1 was good. Season 1 was real good. Season 2 was good too. Not as good as season 1, but season 3 started off okay, and then just by the end it was weak. Don't even get me started on the Book of Boba Fett. Because that was kind of a joke. I mean, it did have its moments where it was kind of cool, but overall it was garbage. Ahsoka, again, Ahsoka had its strong points, also had a lot of weak points. Wasn't as bad as Mandalorian season 3 or Book of Boba Fett, but Ahsoka still wasn't the greatest series. Like I said, it has potential. My biggest complaint with that was the portrayal of Thrawn. I feel like they could have come up with a much better actor instead of somebody that looks like a chubby Elon Musk. What else do we have? Andor. Andor was a great series. But Andor was a slow burn. And Andor was a slow burn that's leading into season 2, which is leading us into Rogue One, which, in my opinion, Rogue One was a great movie. In my opinion, it's the best of all the Star Wars movies that we've gotten since the prequel trilogy, since Disney took over. And, I liked Solo too. For all its, problems it did have, Solo was a great movie and had a lot of potential. But, and don't even get me started on Marvel, but, that's hit or miss, like, literally, like, football fields apart, hit or miss. But Skeleton Crew was amazing. The best way to describe it, in my opinion, was, if they took Star Wars and Goonies and Pirates of the Caribbean and combined the three. Ryan at Turbo Time, he feels like not necessarily, he doesn't feel like it's Pirates of the Caribbean. He feels like it's more Treasure Planet. But I can see that too. But me and the Imperial Grunt, me and him both agree that we feel it's more Pirates of the Caribbean. Especially the scene where the kids come to port. That had a very Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it, especially when they were escaping the jail. When Orlando Bloom and Johnny Depp are escaping the prison cell in the first Pirates movie. But yeah, it was a great series. Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. And of course, I don't want to I don't want to give too many spoilers, when talking about it. But when talking about it, I kind of feel like I need to go into detail of why I like it. Um, favorite character is definitely KB and Fern. KB over Fern. The Imperial Grunt has always given me shit over the years because I have like these weird obsessions with certain characters. He likes to fuck with me because I like Admiral Akbar and Lobot. And KB definitely had Lobot feelings. Had that whole Lobot feel to her. Before, and of course I base a lot of my Lobot love on you know, the novels and comics that talk about Lobot before basically he was lobotomized with that computer unit on his head. Um, but yeah, KB definitely has a lot of Lobot feelings, or feel, to her. Uh, the wife and I were discussing it. There is part of the scene, when they go back to the planet and Atatin, and they talk about you know her sickness or her illness or her medical condition. So I'm kind of curious what that's going to how that is going to manifest itself, because apparently her whole mechanical brain unit and her little visor that comes down apparently has something to do with some kind of medical condition. um I like Fern. Fern, Fern and KB, Disney needs to take note. If you want to create strong female characters that everybody doesn't fucking hate, this is the way to do it. Fern and KB have both that strong female character vibe while at the same time retaining that innocence of childhood, and they're likable characters. You know, there's a lot of characters in the past that Disney has shoved down our throats in A series or B series or C series or Marvel that people just don't like. They're not likable characters. KB and Fern are likable characters. I really hope that Disney doesn't fuck it up with their character development. Um, you know, uh, I can't remember the little Max Rebo looking kid. My wife was absolutely in love with him. And she loved the cat owl lady. That they go to look for, or they go to meet for to find records, of where these kids are from. Um but yeah, so much to unwrap here. Such a good series. I cannot wait till tomorrow because the next episode drops tomorrow and I really can't wait. Um Jude Law's character, oh my god, such a scoundrel. Um and we've me and the Imperial Grunt and me and Ryan we've both talked about it, and it's like, we're still having trouble pegging him. Is he a Jedi? Is he just Force sensitive? Is he using, trickery? Like Jango Fett did in one of the novels where he used magnets and an electro gauntlet to have his blasters come back to his hands during a meeting with Count Dooku. Um, what is the story with Jude Law's character? Is he a gray Jedi? Is he just Force sensitive? I mean, what's so much to get into with him. Um, but one thing we all agree on, my wife, the Imperial Grunt, Ryan, anybody I pretty much talked to about it, I think this is how they are going to introduce the Old Republic. And I say that because you have to realize that even though Star Wars is a household name, um hardcore Star Wars fans, and I mean hardcore Star Wars fans, are kind of a niche crowd. And the people who know about the Old Republic or are Old Republic fans are kind of a niche crowd within a niche crowd. Me and the Imperial Grunt talked about this. He doesn't know shit about the Old Republic. He flat out admitted it. It's like he knows Darth Revan, and that's about it. I've read a few of the Old Republic books. I've also read, the pre-Old Republic books, when they talk about the Jedi, and I've also, read, read or listened to audiobooks of, Old Republic novels, read the comics. There's, there's a lot of lore within the lore for the Old Republic. And this seems like the way that they're going to gently shoehorn the Old Republic into the fandom, especially for casual fans. Because if you haven't watched the series yet, please, there's a lot of, if you haven't watched the series yet, there's the first episode. I missed it. They kept saying the Republic, the Republic, the Republic. It didn't really occur to me until the second episode that they weren't saying the New Republic, because the truth of the matter is, timeline wise, this takes place around the same time, maybe before the Mandalorian, but after the fall of the Empire. So, we kept hearing the Republic, the Republic, the Republic, but not the New Republic. And it didn't, dawn on me until the second episode when, the boy character, the kid with the curly hair, I can't think of his name. God damn, fuck. It's Ren or Rin or Win. Okay. Anyways, point being is, it wasn't until he pulled out the credits, at first glance, I was like, oh, those are Imperial credits. He must be on in a hidden Imperial world. Then the second time he pulled out the credits, I got a better look at him. And the logo was for the Old Republic. We're talking pre-Clone Wars. And suddenly it occurred to me that the reason nobody knows where this kid's world is, and the reason that he has, these old ass credits, and they kept saying Republic, is because this world is a hidden world from the Old Republic. And of course you find out more about that when you go to visit the Owlcat lady, and you find out that there were 9 worlds, 8 of them were destroyed. The 9th one was disappeared or was hidden, which explains a lot of the things they talk about, like the barrier and stuff like that in the first and second episode. So we know that at a 10 or how you say it is from the Old Republic. And like I said, I'm assuming we're going to get a history episode soon, where somebody's going to give us a brief 5 or 10 minute history lesson on the Old Republic, which will hopefully familiarize enough people with, sorry, I had to get a drink, familiarize enough people with the basics of the Old Republic, and hopefully pique enough interest to allow them to delve into the Old Republic more. Pardon me. But yeah, it's like, we've wanted a Revan movie for years. And hopefully this will be how they open the door for casual fans into a Revan movie. Because the truth of the matter is, as much as I want a Revan movie, as much as I love the lore of the Old Republic, like I said, it's a niche subject within a niche fandom within a larger casual fandom. And this, will hopefully allow them to lightly, work in the Old Republic. Because if they put out an Old Republic movie now before this series, it would confuse a lot of people. There would be a lot of casual fans who, aren't, huge Star Wars fans like me and Ryan and the Imperial Grunt, especially casual fans from generations that didn't grow up with Star Wars, like my generation or my son's generation, that wouldn't understand. They would be like, where does this fall in the timeline? Who's this guy? Why is the Stormtrooper armor different? It's not Stormtrooper armor. It's not clone armor. It's, Republic Trooper armor, So, yeah, this is a good thing. And, there's, yeah, this is a great series, guys. I highly recommend it. Favreau and Filoni, they their names are on it, which is good. They've done a lot of good things. They've done a few fucked up things. Not many. I mean, not compared to, Kathleen Kennedy, the scourge of Disney. For those of you who don't know, I mean, Steven Spielberg, was has had many negative things to say about her over the years. Pretty positive. The only reason George Lucas doesn't say anything negative about her is because, I'm sure there's some kind of gag order in the contract between him and Disney. But yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is a fucking train wreck, and as long as she keeps her hands off stuff, things will be okay. Not gonna lie, her name is in the credits as executive producer, some shit like that, but I guess that can't be helped. Um, but yeah, the guy directing it, and sadly I did not write his name down in my notes. He's done an amazing job so far. I really, really look forward to more of this series and really hope Disney doesn't fuck it up. As some of you know, I have a ban. I'm currently boycotting Hasbro because of them laying off people at the holidays. And but I want a KB action figure so bad. I actually saw one in hand the other day, and it's actually a really good sculpt. Hasbro didn't call it in like they did with the Acolyte action figures. Oh, and that was another series I forgot to mention, the Acolyte, which was a fucking train wreck. And before somebody, says something shitty in my comments, I don't hate the Acolyte because of gender politics or anything like that. I hate the Acolyte because it had shitty acting, shitty actors, it was poorly directed, poorly written, and like the sets and special effects were pathetic. Like, honestly, 24 million an episode, where did they fucking spend that money? Because it sure doesn't look like 24 million an episode. Regardless of your politics, it's a shitty series all around. I mean, such a shitty series that Hasbro literally called it in on the toys because those toys are garbage. Like, it's a joke in many of my toy collector groups that, we go to Walmart and, like, I think, the Lando peg warmers are selling better than Acolyte action figures. But, back to the skeleton crew. Action figures look really good, actually. And the truth of the matter is, the the toys are a great way to gauge how good of a series this is, because it's really a sleeper hit. Because, from what I understand, Disney had zero faith in this series. And almost every Walmart or Target I go to, the Skeleton Crew figures are sold out. And they're selling on eBay for upwards of $40 to $60 each. So, you know, this is a note to you, Disney. If you want your merchandise to sell, make a series that everybody likes. Because if people like the series, they will buy the merchandise. You make a shitty series like The Acolyte, and those motherfucking figures are going to sit on the pegs for eternity, along with the Eternals figures that are sitting in eternity at Ollie's right now. Like, you make a good series, you make a good movie, the toys will sell. Skeleton Crew is proving that. But yeah, I mean, the series has great characters. It's got great writing. It's expanding on part of the lore that we've never gotten to really explore before, and that's piracy. We've always heard about piracy and slavery and, all the chaos that happens in the Outer Rim. And, especially near Null Hutta and, places like that. What's the other place? Nod Shadar. We've heard about places like that before. And finally we're getting to see you're getting to see some of this, in live action. We're getting to see actual canon lore being built about this part of the universe that, honestly, I hate to say it, but Disney has been too cowardly to explore up until now. They have this, big, thing against slavery and piracy and, just, scumbags and stuff like that. And honestly, I mean, George Lucas, that's the way he wrote the universe. The Star Wars universe was kind of a mirror of our own. The Jedi were religious zealots, and you have the rich and the powerful in Coruscant, and then out in the Outer Rim you have criminals and drug dealers selling spice, and you have yeah, I mean, it's just, that is the world that George Lucas created. That's the world that Disney bought. And them not exploring the darker, grittier side of Star Wars the past 15 plus years has been really disappointing. And now that they're finally exploring it, they're giving fans what they want. And, the ratings are there, the merchandise sales are there. Disney needs to take note, and not double down on all the shit that people have fucking hated for the past 15 plus years. Again, regardless of your politics, I give zero fucks either way. But I mean, I hate to say it, alienating your fan base, the older fans like myself, and then fans from the prequel generation like my son, a older millennial, alienating those fan bases, your built-in fan base, the people that were spending the most money, alienating those fan bases was your stupidest fucking business move ever. And Skeleton Crew is, giving you the opportunity to rebuild that goodwill with the fans. Don't fuck it up, Disney. Anyways, I'm sure there's something I'll forget. I'm sure there's something I've forgotten that I wanted to talk about that I didn't make notes of. I've actually been thinking about doing this episode on YouTube for a week or so now, since I watched the 3 episodes last Wednesday with my wife, and pardon me, I'm sure there's something I've forgotten, and it'll come to me later, but I really can't help that. Anyways, for sake of argument, I will make sure that I record a something that allows people to know that there's spoilers in this ahead. Because I did not make a spoiler placard card for my video edit on Photoshop or Premiere Pro. So that being said, I hope everybody enjoys their evening. I actually have a toy review to work on next because yeah, we're not going to talk about that, but and hope everybody enjoys this. Please leave comments. Let me know what you think. As for liking and sharing, subscribing, you know I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't do this for the fans. I don't do it for monetization. I do it for myself, and I do it for the fan base here in Fayetteville. If you're not in Fayetteville and you're enjoying this video, so be it. But anyways, catch you guys on the other side later.
There will be a substantial reward for the one who finds the Millennium Falcon. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegration.